Hello, my name is Joseph Schles, and I'm a homosexual. Thank you. I mentioned this right off the bat, not because I think this is the most important thing about me, or even necessarily the most interesting thing about me. It's just that this first story that I like to tell doesn't make a lot of sense. When people don't know that, they get confused when I dive in without prefacing it. So anyway, now you know. So the other day I was blowing this guy. I wish I got his name, you know? But I always start my sets with that story because it's always true. I'm very slutty. I'm very slutty. And this catches people off guard. And I understand why. I know it's not the vibe I put out. I know I have a very Paul Blart Mall Cop vibe. But, you know, when you're a plus-size model like me, or as I like to call myself, a role model, it can be hard to maintain the level of sluttiness that I like to stay at. You know, it can be frustrating. Like, whose dick do I got to suck around here to get to suck somebody's dick? You know what I'm saying? It's like, but you know, it's like, as I get older, I've learned to adjust with the times, you know. I just kind of go with it. Like, I used to say that my type was slim Latino bottoms. Not that I'm not still into that, if you know some of that. But now I say that my type is consenting. Basically, if you're down, I'm down. No, but as I was saying, I'm getting older. We're all getting a little bit older. And as you age, life has a way of kind of like teaching you things you would have never expected to learn. Like, if you would have told teenage Joseph, hey, one day when you're living in Hollywood, I'm like, Hollywood? It's not that cool. You're going to find yourself thinking to yourself, please God, please let me have syphilis. I would have never believed you. But it turns out I came to learn the hard way that syphilis and herpes have unsettlingly similar symptoms, but only one of them is curable. And my friends, I'm happy to announce it was syphilis. Thank you so much. Even the doctor was like, you do have syphilis, but it's really not a big deal. Very easy to cure. It's just a shot in the ass. I was like, that's so funny because that's how we got here in the first place. Life always comes full circle. Well, there's a lot of scary things out there. There's a lot of STDs that are not as adorable as syphilis. You know, things you really don't want to get. And it's like, I get it, it's scary. It's like, I understand why somebody might just want to like join the priesthood already, you know what I mean? Because little kids usually don't have STDs, and so it's a safe one. No, you're right. That was wrong of me. I should be angry at that. I've done no research for that joke. Maybe a lot of kids do have STDs. I don't know. Anyway, I'm from Moreno Valley, California. Okay, which if you don't know, which it sounds like you might not, it's about an hour east of here. It's in Riverside, which is the inland empire that I eat. And I don't know. It's kind of rough out there, but I like Reno. It's a very diverse community, which I always loved. But because of that, I feel like I never had a great grasp of racism growing up, because to me, I always thought we're all just pouring in it together. And also in middle school, my only friends were black girls, which is, I think, the only reason that I never got beat up. Because if there was one group of people in Moreno Valley that nobody wanted to fuck with, it was the black girls, because black girl magic is real. Thank you so much. And so whenever dudes would come and fuck with me and be like, hey Joseph, you're a faggot, I'd be like, what? No. You'd always hear someone be like, hey Jovan, leave him alone, that's the homie. Like, thanks Cassie. You know, they always sound like that. And it wasn't until high school that I kind of encountered racism in the world for the first time. I was at a mall, shopping out at Miller's Outpost, rest in peace, with a girlfriend of mine. And this girl went off to look at girls' clothes, and I was looking at baggy carpenter jeans. It was a different time. After a few minutes, she comes up to me and she's like, can we leave? I want to go. And I was like, why? Are you not finding anything you like here? And she goes, no, it's just that the woman who works here keeps following me around because she thinks I'm going to steal something. And I was like, no way. I'm sure she's just trying to be helpful. And my friend looked at me and she was just like, Joseph, you just don't get it because you're white. And that was the first time in my life that I kind of realized that there's white privilege, you know, and then I was so angry that they would treat my friend this way. So I marched up to the woman who worked there and I was like, "Excuse me, we didn't find anything we liked today. Thank you so much." And I walked out of the store with $248 worth of stolen merchandise. What else? I was a pretty chubby kid growing up. I was a fat kid, and you know, one time I saw another comedian get up and start a joke the same way. He was like, "I was a fat kid growing up," and a few people in the audience were like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's true." And he told this joke, and it was pretty funny, but I kind of stopped listening because all I could think was like, man, that must be so amazing to get up on a stage in front of an audience full of people and tell them you were a fat kid, and then be met with surprise. You guys did not act very surprised when I said it. No, but I've always had struggles with my weight. It's one of the many things I have in common with Oprah, so I do take pride in that. That and an intense sexual attraction to Stedman. No, but it's okay, you know, I can't help it. Even though I've got a Gryffindor spirit, I've got a Hufflepuff body. They're both respectable houses, so it's fine. No, I know I need to go to the gym more. I'm like, I gotta work out. I need to go to the gym. I know I need to go to the gym. It's just like, everything there is so heavy. And So I'm a gold star gay, which if you don't know what that means, that means I've never had sex with a lady. It makes me LGBT elite. You know, so I like a lot of stereotypically gay things. I was telling a friend of mine that I think that RuPaul is like the gay Oprah, or really maybe just another Oprah. I don't know her life, okay? But I was saying I feel like RuPaul's the gay Oprah. My friend was like, "Joseph, I think that's the gayest thing you ever said." And I was like, "I don't think so, you know?" And then she was like, "Well, what do you think is the gayest thing you ever said?" And I thought about it, and I think the answer might be, "Oh, I love it, sis." I think that might be up there. I wasn't sure if that was a good joke or just a stupid thing.